Yeah, I think this board is up running now. There are two issues actually I found. So the first one is obviously like the one I sent to you by email, which is you do need to pull up the output to the VCC. So what I did is I just put a 1.5K resistor. I just connect the two terminals resistor to the output and also the VCC pin. And you actually need to do the same thing for the other side. And I haven't soldered this to VCC, the other terminal of this resistor to VCC, but I'm going to do it, or you can probably do that. But you can see that since this side has been put up, so actually this one, this IR sensor is up running. Okay, so it is working. And this one is not working, but if I snap it and then take a look, all right, so this works as well pretty nicely. That's the first issue. And there was another little problem for the soldering, which is because before I fixed it, I found out if I'm not, whenever I short the other terminal of this resistor to VCC, and this turns on immediately. And I was thinking, why this is always on? If it's always on, which means you are not getting a high voltage for the receiver's collector terminal, which is on the top. So it seems like that pin is not being put up to the VCC. So I'm thinking the problem must be this little resistor. Let me show you. Must be this resistor here, right? That's a 10K pull-up resistor for this guy, actually for this receiver. And so the problem is, I found out is for this 10K resistor on the right side, on the right-hand side, the solder is not totally being is wrapping up the terminal of the resistor. So actually, it's not actually soldered to the pad. Or maybe the resistor is burned, but that's really rare. So I would say it is because the solder material is not sufficient to cover everything on this right-hand side. So I just use the soldering iron to heat up one terminal and swipe it off from the board for the previous 10K resistor, and get rid of it on the board. And I replaced it with a really nice a new 10K resistor. And also keep in mind, before you put the new resistor to that, make sure the pads are fine, so they're not broken. And I checked it out, so the two pads are still there and have a little nice and thin solder layer on the top of the pads. And I soldered this new resistor to it, and it worked. It works right now, which is good news. I think this is up running. So what you need to do is just find out the way to pull up the terminal, the output terminal to here. So you may not have to do it here, because you can find out another the voltage node for the same pin for the output. I think the output is being shorted to the deep the pins of the driver. So you can probably find out the output, the same voltage node on the back side of the PCB board, so it's easier to solder. Just solder a resistor to that pin, and then to VCC, to the power supply. Oh, it's not power supply, actually it should be the 5 volts. You don't want to do it here. Here's 7.5 volts, right? You want to do it here. Any pins, as long as the same voltage node, which is fine. You don't have to do it here, okay? So which is maybe easier to solder if you do it on the back. Let me see if I have another thing to let you know. Okay, there another thing. Sometimes you're gonna check if the IR emitters are working. So you can see from my camera, because right now this is turned on, so you can see the little purple color in this emitter. I know they are IR lights, so it should be invisible by your naked eye. If you look at it using your naked eye, definitely you won't be able to see that. But the camera can kind of catch some part of the IR light, or the visible spectrum, or part of it. So you can see this purple color. If I turn off, if I just plug off, And now take a look. There's nothing, no purple, just dark blue color, okay, of the emitter. So that's another trick. You probably want to check if your emitters are burned. If the emitters are burned and you have everything functioning, you won't get any results, okay? That's pretty much everything I want to let you know. I think this is pretty easy to fix. I think probably we want to make another PCB with the correct circuit, with a pull-up resistor on that PCB, instead of trying to fix it all the time. Let's just get a functioning version. Let's see if there's another thing you want to change. Probably the spacing or anything you think you want to modify. But I think it looks fine for now. It looks pretty nice to me right now. Okay, just go ahead and fix it. Thanks.